Hello, readers of Every Word, and welcome to Every Word 365. I'm your host, Christina Madsen. Today we're reading Isaiah 44 through 48. How is Isaiah going for you? Hard to read? Easy? Isaiah will wrap up at the end of this month, and then we've got just a few more prophets to read through. So don't worry, Even Got Questions acknowledges how difficult it is to read through these. Both the major and minor prophets are usually among the least popular books of the Bible for Christians to read. This is understandable with the often unusual prophetic language and the seemingly constant warnings and condemnations recorded in the prophecies. Still, there is much valuable content to be studied in the major and minor prophets. We read of Christ's birth in Isaiah and Micah. We learn of Christ's atoning sacrifice in Isaiah. We read of Christ's return in Ezekiel, Daniel, and Zechariah. We learn of God's holiness, wrath, grace, and mercy in all of the major and minor prophets. For that, they are most worthy of our attention and study. In other words, hang in there, stick with it, pray about what you are supposed to learn from these readings, especially if they're bothering you or if you're finding them very difficult to read. And in case you're wondering, here's the breakdown of major and minor prophets and why that distinction. The terms major prophets and minor prophets are simply a way to divide the Old Testament prophetic books. The major prophets are Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and Daniel. The minor prophets are Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. The minor prophets are also sometimes called the 12. I hope I'm saying those correctly. I may not be. I have changed how I've said some of them over time, so just a guess. The major prophets are described as major because their books are longer and the content has broad, even global implications. The minor prophets are described as minor because their books are shorter, although Hosea and Zechariah are almost as long as Daniel, and the content is more narrowly focused. That does not mean the minor prophets are any less inspired than the major prophets. It is simply a matter of God choosing to reveal more to the major prophets than he did to the minor prophets. That is all from a Got Questions link that I have, of course, including, so you can read more about that. I always just like to try to inform you of biblical terms and why things are the way they are when it comes to the Bible. As for today's daily walk, I strongly encourage you to look for God's purpose linked with personal events in your life and write them down. I know God used the loss of my dad to begin a personal relationship with him and his son, Jesus Christ. I certainly couldn't see it when it happened, but when I look back, many of the really bad moments in my life were actually used for good in the end. I encourage you to look back. I encourage you to see if you can find those good moments amidst all the bad and even write them down so that we can honor them, be thankful for them, pray about them, and as the Bible tells us to do, share with others that might be going through similar struggles. They say that it says that's part of why we go through things, is to share and help others when they go through them as well. Tomorrow is Isaiah 49 through 51. Happy reading.